Hi everyone, and welcome back to another card challenge inspired by roxyfur on YouTube. But before I get started with my card, I just wanted to show you guys a couple of things that I picked up that I really think come in handy, and you might think so too. Now, I don't have a very big work surface that I work on. It's just this table here. You can see it's not that big, but it's great for me, and it sits right under my window here. So the sun shines through, and it's a nice work spot. But I wanted a roll of paper that I could pull out and tear off when I'm doing projects where I need a lot of paper, or, I don't want to mess up my mat. And so I went to IKEA, and I found this one, and it sits right on the edge of the table. I got this idea from Yoli B, and I know she had a big paper roll that she uses to pull out too. But my space isn't as big as hers. So this one, it comes with you buy this separately. This part was $9.99, the holder. And then the paper is $4 something for a big roll. And then you literally, I'll just tear a little piece off. It just sits on your desk. You don't have to move anything. And the little wooden bar is your sort of tear thing. And it just nicely tears off your paper like that. Whoops, didn't work because I had one hand, but you get the idea. And then you lay the paper down and can work here, and then just discard it when you're done. Love that. And then the next thing I got at IKEA, you know the silicone mats, the craft mats that we all have? Well, mine was getting really wrecked. I've used it so much, and the odd time I accidentally cut it, and you know how it goes. So I was there, and I looked in their kitchen section, and they had these. They're called Sakuraka. You know how they never have the names. It will not be called silicone mat anyway. So I was looking at this, and I thought, hey, this is one of those really nice, like a Silpat vinyl mat that you cook with. Those are normally very expensive. This one was $6.99. So I picked up two, one for my daughter-in-law. Look how big this thing is. Move my paper out of the way. So if you're doing a really messy or lots of distress inking and stuff, look at this. Isn't that nice? And on this one side, it's got measurements on it for if people are cooking. And then I think they initially decided to make this a craft mat because on the other side, it's got, for children, lots of primary drawing shapes and numbers. So this is an excellent purchase. So I thought I'd mention these two things to you if you were in the market for either a roll of paper that fits in a nice small space or a new craft mat. This is much more economical than the other ones, because I think I paid $14 or $16.99 for my other one. And you can also bake with these, although I wouldn't mix the two. So this is just going to be for crafting. So now I'll get started with my card. One thing I just love about this card challenge that Roxy started is it just inspires you to go in your stash and use things that you haven't used forever. I have so many card magazines, so I looked through this older one. It's called Card Creations, and I think this is the year on this, it doesn't say, but I've had this for quite some time. And you know, it's always good to go back because your style changes and you can really switch around cards with techniques that you're using now that you weren't using before. So the card I decided to do is this one right here. So what they have done is, if you can see, it says, "My heart belongs to you," and they use a transparency and printed that on the transparency first, and then laid it over top of the printed paper that had all the words on it, created a pocket, then took some ribbon or fabric, I think, and frayed it around, and then use rub-ons on that. So this is going to be my inspiration. So I thought, let me go through my stash, my paper stash, and see what I've got. So I'll show you the papers that I came up with. This first one is from Wild Asparagus, and it was this design here. Loved it, but I really wanted to use both pieces. I wanted this side for the card and this side for my front piece. So what I did is I took the 12 by 12 sheet, cut it 8.5 by 11 to create, and then I created 2 cards, so I've got 2 here. And then with the leftover paper, I cut out this piece here, which will be my card front. And then to emulate the words that they both had on the printed paper here, and also the transparency, I'm not going to use a transparency, so I went through all of my old stickers, and I found this pack of stickers. I do not know where it's from and how old it is. And there's stickers in it, and they've got a lot of love words, like love, kisses, yours, I do. So I started to adhere them on the front of this paper. So I'm going to continue doing that, and then I'm going to take my vintage, I'm using walnut stain distress ink, and I'm going to distress around this and the card front, or the actual card. I'll be right back. Okay, I'm just going to carry on finishing up with this card. So the inside, remember I told you I was going to use the inside of the other side of the paper, and I wanted to leave a space for writing a sentiment or a message. So what I did is I used the flip side of the other paper that I'm using for a pocket for the front, and I distress inked it with walnut stain, and then I'm just going to give it a couple spritzes of water. I'm just doing this first so that it's dry by the time I want to adhere it into the love how a simple white piece of paper can just become so vintage just by adding that little element of water. So we'll just put these 2 off to the side to dry. See the spots on that one? I just love that look. Okay, because this card has a little bit of a vintage feel to it. So now we're going to construct this card. So I told you how I was going to ink around the sides of the card. Got our insides there, and then I just added those stickers on. These stickers were so perfect for this Valentine's card. It's just amazing. They even had Valentine, love, kisses, sealed, mine, romantic. And then I took my corner chomper, used the 1/2 inch corner, and chomped these 2 and all 4 on the inside. So next we're going to create a really cute pocket. So again, I went into my stash of stuff, and I found this library card and mini file folders template. So I used this small one right here to make a library card, but the only thing I did was I cut off the back. Usually on the library card there's a little bit that sticks out here, and I cut it off just to make it look more like an envelope, and then I just cut the curve to match the front piece, and again inked all that around and constructed it easily. So this is the polka dotted paper I was talking about that is on the flip side of here. So just using up all my stash. So we're going to place this on the front like so, just at a little bit of an angle. But before we do that, I'm going to take some ribbon, and as in the picture they had put some rub-on words with their ribbon, so I'm going to use rub-ons. And I looked through, I don't have that many rub-ons left, but what I did have was leftover was from this baby set. There were all these little black Valentine hearts. So I'm just going to take a little piece of, I put some ATG, take some ribbon, leave a little bit of excess hanging off the side, run it around the back, and then run some tape across and do, actually I want it to go the other way. So I'll do it this way, and then run tape across the front exactly the same. I'll cut off the excess in a second. There. So we've got our little ribbon like so. So you can just cut off these 2 pieces just to match. Then I'm going to take those rub-ons, and I'll probably use 4 of them. There's 6 here, but I'll use 4. So I'll just cut a strip of 4. Sometimes older rub-ons don't work that well, but these are Cloud 9 design, and this is really old set, and they still work just fine. So I'm going to place the hearts right across the ribbon there, so don't center them up. Take a bone folder and just rub them on. Okay, so we've created our little envelope with the hearts on it. And so before I cut it, I'm going to use, you know, these little trinket pins that Tim Holtz makes? Usually we use them to hang stuff on or charms on, but in this instance I'm actually going to use it as a safety pin. So on the tip there it says the words memoirs, and then it has a little number. And what I usually do to make it pop out is I take just a tiny bit of either white or tan paint and just rub it in right into the letters so it sort of sinks inside like that. So then when you wipe it away, you can actually read the word better. So I've done that, and then I'm going to open it up just like a little safety pin here and tie my ribbon right here. Just going to pin it really, really close to the edge there and poke it through, close it up just like a safety pin, and then just sort of put it over on a little angle onto the card. There, just like that. Then I'll trim these ends off about there. So what I'm going to do is first adhere this down to the card front using foam tape. So I want to adhere it so it's off to the side like that. So I'm just going to glue that down with my ATG gun. Then I looked in my stash again and I found these little baby chip art pieces, and I'm sorry, I don't know who made them. I think it might have been Stampin' Up, but I can't be sure. But in the chip art they had these chipboard heart shapes, so you can see where I've popped them all out. So what I'm going to do, let me just glue this down first. I'm going to have the little chipboard hearts coming out of the envelope. I have 2 versions here. On this one I added 3 hearts and 1 there because the rub-on kind of got smeared and covered it up. And that one says mementos. And then this one, it says thoughts, and it's got 2 chipboard hearts there. And then on the inside at the bottom of the sentiments there's a little tiny chipboard heart. And on this one it's just got the rub-on heart. And this was all made with stuff from my stash that I thought I would never ever use. So thanks again, Roxy, for this challenge. It really makes you think and really makes you want to sort of find what you have and create. So we'll see you all next time, and I hope you're all following along the challenge as well. Bye-bye.